All right, guys. So how does kettlebell training change the body? And I've talked about this a lot before. In my previous episode, I talked about why kettlebells are more effective than bodybuilding for a whole host of reasons, depending on your goal, of course, unless your goal is to stand up on stage, which probably isn't. So watch that video. I go into some of this stuff as well, but to piggyback off of that and to more specifically talk about how does kettlebell training actually, what does it do to your body, right? I'll talk about three main things. Starting off with the first one. First off, the full workout that you see, workouts, flows that you see me doing in the video right here will be in the description below. And this will be the perfect type of thing to actually implement with the kettlebell to get you to where I'm talking about right now. So the three main ways it changes your body. So obviously kettlebell training develops all the things that I talked about in the last episode: power, strength, power endurance, muscular endurance, cardiovascular endurance, mobility, and resilience. That resilience that a fighter has to kind of dig deep, push the pace, have that sort of relentless intestinal fortitude like cardio, right? So it does all of those things, but again, more specifically, tangibly, what does it do to your body, right? And number one, what it will do is it will forge a wiry physique. If you don't know what that means, literally Google the word wiry, W-I-R-Y, and it will describe to you exactly what I'm talking about. And essentially the way you can think of a wiry physique is my physique, or, more well-known, Bruce Lee's physique, which is pretty much what wiry means, is being very lean but very strong, right? And that's what we're all after, guys. It's easy, like I said last time, it's easy to be lean and weak. It's easy to be small and weak, lose a bunch of weight, do a bunch of cardio, don't lift weights, don't prioritize protein, things like that, and just be small and weak. That's easy. And it's also easy to be big and strong, just lift weights and eat till you're blue in the face. But what's hard is being in the middle, being in that fighting shape, right? Being super lean, but also having high performance, lots of strength, power, endurance. Because usually when we get lean, we sacrifice our health to get lean, and we can only stay there for a certain amount of time, then we quickly balloon back up. And then, like I said, being big and strong is easy, but being in the middle, being lean and strong, simply put, is what we're all after, right? And that's what a fighter wants. A fighter essentially wants to be as light as possible while their performance is as high as possible. They're as strong as possible, they're explosive as possible, and they have as much endurance as possible while being as light as possible. That's why we have weight classes and everything. So ideally, the fighter wants to be at his smallest weight so he can fight the smaller opponents while having, the strength and the power of a bigger person, right? So that's really what we're after. And that, guys, is efficiency. It's efficiency of the body. So that's the number one thing that kettlebell training will do, is it will get you leaner but stronger at the same time. Why and how? Well, let's dig into that. So why does it get you lean and wiry? Because basically, fundamentally, you're combining two main systems, which are probably the most effective ways of working out and training according to science, right? Which is combining high intensity interval style training and weightlifting. Both of these things are extremely crucial. Some people will say, oh, you don't need cardio, you can just worry about getting stronger and stuff like that. You still need cardio. Do you need to be doing 30 to 40 minutes of pointless jogging on the treadmill? No, you want efficient, high intensity cardio. That's what gives you the most bang for your buck, according to studies, and what will also keep you long, what's also associated with longevity, having a high VO2 max. So that sort of style is built into kettlebell training, depending on what you're doing, obviously. Like if you're doing certain types of circuits, you can really emphasize this sort of VO2 max like training, while also you're getting a weight resistance literally at the same time, right? So you're building your VO2 max, you're building your sort of explosive capability, your explosive endurance, you're burning fat while you're getting that weight resistance and building muscle. And what makes kettlebells unique to, let's say, barbells or dumbbells is nothing against those things. I mean, hey, if you're working out, more power to you, but efficiency-wise, the kettlebell is very different than those things, right? Just the physics of it, the physical design. If you don't believe me, try curling a 35-pound kettlebell in your left hand, or try curling a 35-pound kettlebell and then try curling a 35-pound dumbbell, and you tell me which one's easier. And the point is not to say you should be curling with kettlebells because they're harder. It's just to literally demonstrate to you how different the weight is, just simply because of the design and how the weight kind of hangs off the kettlebell and things like that. And that's what also makes it the best tool for ballistic training, like swings, cleans, snatches. These are movements that pretty much combine high intensity training with weightlifting and doing it in a safe way, because again, of the physics of the kettlebell, you don't have to go too heavy in weight relative to your body weight, because again, the way the kettlebell is designed to feel the challenge as if you were going heavier with other weights. and your feet are never leaving the floor to, do these clean snatches and swings as if you're sprinting or jumping, right? So you're getting this sort of like sprinting, jumping style training mixed with this sort of CrossFit style training all in one in a much safer, low impact modality, right? So that's, I guess, number two of like why and how does it get you that lean and wiry physique. And then number three, the final reason, which actually really all ties into number one. So what do kettlebells do for your body? They get you wiry, okay? They get you lean, strong, and bulletproof you against injury, meaning they induce mobility and stability and strength through your major joints. And so there's a few things here, guys. So this main last point will encompass maybe a couple different things. So number one is everything we do with kettlebells involves our legs, hips, and core. Your legs, hips, and core are the most important parts to develop when it comes to your overall fitness. If you're an athlete, you want your legs, hips, and core to be your powerhouse. It is our powerhouse. So when you're lifting in the gym, for example, you're working on basically your extremities and like the superficial muscles, but you're not really working on the power of your hips, the snappiness of your hips, the explosiveness of your legs, hips, and core. And with these workouts, with kettlebell workouts, you're instilling explosiveness with weight resistance. Thus, and everything is involving your legs, right? So with this, you're boosting testosterone, boosting HGH. You're creating a favorable hormonal environment with this style of training by emphasizing your legs so much and sort of more of that athletic style training. You're training like an athlete. Again, legs, hips, and core being involved with literally everything that we do, which is functional. When we say functional, we mean basically able to be applied to real life activities like lifting a box or grappling somebody or throwing something. All of these things involve your legs, hips, and core to a certain degree, right? Punching, kicking, all of these things, most sports that you play, most activities, any activity that you do in your life, you're using your legs, hips, and core with it. Very rarely are you isolating your bicep and things like this. That's why those things aren't functional. Everything we do is building that central engine, which is our legs, hips, and core, right? So, and by boosting this engine, you're boosting your metabolic rate, you're boosting the amount of calories you burn at rest, and you're making yourself literally just more of that lean, athletic sort of body type as a byproduct of the way that we're training with the kettlebells. This will not only get you wiry, so lean, strong, but it will also perfect your posture. And in today's day and age, with all the sitting that we do like I'm doing right now, sitting in this sort of 90-degree posture, or even standing for a long amount of time, or just not using our body in these functional ways that we have, we're losing strength in our posterior chain, we're getting tighter in the front of our hip flexors and things like that, which lead to back pain and postural issues, and even imbalances between our right and left sides creates postural issues which lead to pain, which lead to injury. So you might be experiencing pain or injury and not even know that the underlying cause is your posture, is even down to your breathing mechanics, which kettlebells will fix all of that, because again, the physics of them, the way they're designed, the way they sit on your body, the way that you use them, the way that you train with them, you will address the weak links in your kinetic chain, treating your whole body like a unit, like it's supposed to be. Everything from your feet affects everything up to your neck, right? It's all a kinetic chain, right? So fixing the kinks in that kinetic chain by moving functionally under load in various different ways and then progressively overloading, you'll start to balance the right and left sides. You'll start to strengthen the posterior chain with things like swings and snatches, and you'll undo and counteract a lot of the problems that our modern day in life, our modern day of living cause. So simply put, guys, in a nutshell, kettlebell training will change your body by turning you into a wiry machine that can handle anything, and also perfect your posture and perfectly counteract the problems created by our modern day in life. All right? I hope that helps. If you guys need any more guidance or want to work with me directly, hit the link or links below in the description, and I will see you soon. Peace.